So if you're watching this video, I'm assuming you've heard of Caroline Konstnar. But if you haven't, she's the person who had already made It's Prom, moved weirdly, gone to college, joined a circus, become pregnant, and commodified the baby, all before the age of whatever age she currently is. She also used to be a famous pop star with hits like and Horny Song, but completely disappeared without a trace a few years ago. Literally 0 people have heard from her since. To help spread awareness about her case, I've decided to honor her memory by analyzing a video that really doesn't need to be analyzed. I mean, it's unlisted, so I guess we can just assume it's pretty unhindered in the slurs department. Kinda hoping she says the gamer word. But I really don't know if I'll be able to hold it together, guys. I mean, I'm literally pissing right now.
I'm just so emotional.
If you're on a roller coaster right now, I'd recommend fastening your seatbelts for this. Ladies and gentlemen, and CB Uberman, let's dive into Caroline Konstnar's The World's Dumbest Puppet Show. So right away you'll notice that this is a song, and you'll also notice that on the bottom of the cardboard theater, the German message Nur Bahnhof verstehen can be seen, which translates in English to only understand train station, or what the f is going on. On top of the theater, you'll see CK, which probably represents Caroline's fervent belief that Louis CK is innocent. Nah, just kidding, it stands for this probably. The title of the production becomes clear. This signals to the audience that 2021 Caroline was turkey-based and solo-pilled, actually.
It's time to join the conga line that's been growing since the dawn of time.
We begin by discussing the long line of generations and primates and people that have lived since the dawn of time. The time whenever whatever you call the first humans started getting wedgies and scratching backs for the they-them will scratch minds of the world.
Homo habilis surely outwit us by using sticks and stones.
I think that this may end up having 2 meanings, neither really intended. First, that humans are going intellectually backwards with every so-called evolution. Or second, that Homo habilis were one of those civilizations that managed to vanish without a trace despite conquering the galaxy, with just the things that break your bones thousands of years in the past. Either interpretation is acceptable, I think.
It's the circle of life.
Given the retina-burned Paramount logo visual, I'd guess Caroline is some sort of industry plant.
The antmill for mammals.
We cut to a circular visual of ants in a death spiral, where they lose the pheromone track and start following each other, eventually dying of exhaustion. Basically, we're all just listening to each other and following each other's vanities, depleting ourselves in the process. This subverts the circle of life concept by comparing daily life to a circle, rather than the circle that might be our life and death paths. I'd probably think of the circle more as the literal bagel-shaped branding iron decay that infinite words and emotions and belief suspensions have inflicted on the 2024 and post-2024 human brain. But Caroline couldn't have predicted how things have accelerated since back then.
Wondering why? Here's a couple examples. Fire.
Circle.
Belief systems.
Circle.
Open-toed shoes.
Paywall.
Free will.
Circle.
As you abuse the virgin for her oil, break her back and dry her soil.
Those people, too, are shown as really wanting to cherry the pop of whatever that landmark or oil gusher or beehive is. I tried really hard to identify the image source, but unless it's an extra virgin olive oil logo, I really have no idea. Or it could be this, despite the fact that this happened too late. Basically, natural or unnatural beauty has no chance when up against Madonna's untouched shell. By breaking the virgin land's back, these Chad companies want revenge. And by drying her soil, they want to slip a laxative or something. No oceanic pit left unravaged.
Frack too hard, you'll get screwed royally.
This both alludes to actual fracking, when hitting the ground too hard can cause earthquakes, or dangerous tears of the earth under people, along with so-called fudge packing of the 5 men 1 harlot variety, which might cause dangerous tears of the earth inside people. Also getting royally screwed might be a that last thing euphemism.
Now I know what you were thinking, get some help and stop your drinking,
Yep.
but addictions are affliction, man would kill for a prescription.
She can't stop, and none of us can stop. We wish we could just eat shrooms or tablets or the ground-up adrenaline-fueled thrill of a car chase, and magically gain complete control over whatever thing we keep doing that we wish we wouldn't keep doing. But I guess to be human is generally to be sick with focus and interest and obsession over doing certain actions over and over again.
Our compulsion to keep using tells us that our life's worth losing.
We'd rather run around in circles, doing the same thing over and over again, than break the cycle, even if the cycle ends up destroying us. In a room that has nothing but one button, which we know would immediately end our one consciousness forever. The hypothesis here is that we'd probably press the thing to press after enough time and boredom.
I am not a nihilist, just one productive hedonist.
There's no ideology here. It's all just noise produced to sound similar to nihilism, or whatever similar ideology you want. Whichever ideology makes YouTube audience brain light up. This video you're currently watching in particular comes from a similar place. Also, Saul Goodman, the perfect image charismatic businessman, went to Caroline's philosophy alma mater.
It went from Nazareth to Hollywood.
I guess she isn't actually.
The gospel of our childhood.
As time moves on, people's childhood obsessions change. Religious stories are slowly being replaced by Hollywood stories. Our brains keep buzzing and we paint the walls of our enclosure to match the worlds of ideas we grew up in.
These prophets are unqualified to herd the sheep with woolen eyes.
The new gospel is TikTok dances, clout, and anorexic bulimic body standards, all condensed into speedy video format. Ironically, comparing these people to shepherd prophets points out how motivated by money and instant gratification they are, in the same way that they inspire greed and desire for instant gratification in their audience. Have you seen the percentage of kids that want to be YouTubers when they grow up? The game of life is faster moving, more in your face, and more promoting of conformity than it ever has been before. Grind set, revenue streams, diversify portfolio, 50 G's. We learn to emulate our most prominent role models. Not exactly sure, but I think woolen eyes refers to the wool blindness in the sheep that pursue their favorite immortal content deities. They have no way to do wrong because the concept of wrong isn't part of what they preach.
It's any crook they heed. They are gluttons for their feet.
The thing that keeps them coming back is the dopamine stream of content hits they're almost sinfully ravenous for. They follow people not morally, but as determined by whichever video stimulates brain the most. People almost automatically buy into the worlds of whatever grifters sweet talk them. Doing anything, legal or illegal, their worshipped parasocial saviors tell them to. They hear, "Listen to me, I am right, this is wrong," and immediately internalize it, maybe subtly, as a semi-permanent belief system.
So I guess it's up to me to set them free.
Okay, so in the Gospel of Mark, chapter 5, verse 13, a group of demons possess a group of pigs and make them fly into the sea, where they drown. Basically, Caroline setting you free from all that cringe is equivalent to that. Also, interesting suggested origin story for the when pigs fly idiom.
Class defined by classrooms with no ceilings made with glass to break through.
Pretty simple. In a lot of the world, educational spending means everything for your likely life outcome. That simple number by county is often the difference between a life on and off one street and a life on and off another. Also, classrooms don't have the resources they should, with some barely functioning as rooms. The glass ceiling has been memed to death, but this also puts in perspective how the glass ceiling is something only people who are elevated enough to be near a glass ceiling can smash, like the atriarchy.
Stairs compared to elevators. Faith's what pays the educator.
This took me a sec, but we're talking about the hoops students have to jump through to reach the same study level. Equity versus equality moment. Some people get elevators to the academic peak while others have to roll a wheelchair up the stairs. Education also seems to run on faith, both in that teachers are only paid according to how much their districts believe in teaching as a profession, and in that people are trying to integrate church and state in the classroom right this very minute.
What is obsolete like phrenology? It's our ponyless economy.
We could use our economy to fund things that actually matter, but we deliberately choose to ignore humanitarian programs, instead treating our system as if it were ponyless or penniless. This probably doesn't imply that using bumps on people's heads to determine intelligence is turbo-based, but it does suggest an endorsement for whoever Vermin Supreme is this November, in the doom or hope that it'll spoil our partisanship with free ponies. Hey, I just report the overanalyzed facts.
So we jumpstart a war and hope it works like before, then lose the data we store to some prick from offshore.
The US starts, continues, and finishes a lot of wars using that juicy economic cash, but rarely invests much in itself, re-education, mental health, etc. Then often does a silly overseas and lets super cool governments capitalize. The visual here is of Putin self-aggrandizing as he applauds and approves all the shady stuff. And we note again that this video was uploaded in 2021.
Don't let your delusion cause the union's disillusion.
I'll note when this was uploaded, and approximately how long I estimate this video took to make.
Loosen lip syncs mighty ships. It's your open beats that start the leak.
Imagine if Americans had told the Germans beforehand that D-Day was coming. Things would have probably turned out a little different. The phrase loose lips sink ships originates from World War II and was propagated to deter people from talking unguardedly about subjects that might undermine the war effort, supposedly even to stop people from hurting each other's morale with truth. Our open beaks are not only instrumental in delivering information to ship sinkers, but are also too concerned with truth to care much about how truth affects our well-being. Telling ourselves that we don't know that much about anything over and over probably won't do that much to inspire meaning and hope in one another. When does the measured, mature, unwavering silence arise?
Friendly fascist, self-proclaimed advocates dictating what is socially blasphemous.
Guys, it's happening again. People are trying to dictate to us what we should allow and not allow. What's absolutely morally bankrupt and what isn't. They knock on doors and tell us unnuanced things, and we allow them to because we really enjoy unnuanced things. We'd accept fascism if the unnuanced things it brought were in line with the unnuanced thoughts many of us hold close. Friendliness often serves as that unnuanced ticket into another person's sorta nuanced mind, where nuanced rhetoric could have had any other effect.
The foundation for identity
A lot of people feel like they can't identify as an identity without having other people affirm that yes, that identity is a thing. Also note the sarcastic idea that career equals identity.
So don't ask for permission. Gender isn't a religion. If you want something, then use your words. Don't govern mine to feel secure.
Identity isn't a thing to attach your soul to, and neither is the approval of others. Be honest, blunt, and upfront. Don't drag other people into the quest to ensure all language around you is perfect and inoffensive. Act like we're all people, I guess.
I don't know why I'm doing any of this. These lyrics are completely pointless.
Yeah, I'm just saying things and seeing what happens. Everything I've said here is just how my brain chews up and spits out the funny words I hear with silly bossa nova song loop. If we really took a second to overanalyze sometimes, maybe we...